Good morning, traders. This is Roger from Aitg here to present you with the weekly wrap-up of our trading setups. It is Friday, May 25th, 2018, and have a lot to show you this morning. Did not have a video yesterday. Again, I think yesterday was probably the peak of the drawdown for most of these setups. But I am pleased to report and hopefully illustrate here momentarily the light at the end of the tunnel, and looks like the patience and perseverance to weather this storm. So the first one I want to show is the 1 hour Haas breakout, and just to give you some reminder, yesterday our basket equity at this time was around negative 441. Today, right now, it's down only 205, 204. That's roughly 134 pips in the hole. So you can see it's come back, and we'll look at it's closed some of the trades in profit, and also, the cycle profit and loss yesterday was 381. Today it's 644. So we're banking some positive pips in the positive cash in the bank there in the profit, or excuse me, the cycle profit and loss, which will help us out to achieve our equity lock goal here. Now I think obviously being Friday, we're not going to get out of this today. So again, we'll have to flow into next week. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday we'll be out of this and back in green pastures. At that time, depending on how the setup is, whether I continue to go for the 100 lock in 70 equity lock, or just close it out when I get break even plus a few bucks. I'll make that determination next week. But let's look at some of these pairs here that are still open. And remember, we are using our for the setups that are not being hedged. We're using the internal trailing stop loss. But when we have it hedged, I turn it off to false and use manual exits. So that's for first one here. Original position was a buy, and this was not a hedge. This was coming back to price, and so I took a position to help us get there quicker. Right now, you can see it's still fighting. It's going sideways here, but we'll keep an eye on this. Again, it's not important for all of these to get into profit and to close, but for the enough to get green ones, enough trades to get positive to overcome the negative ones to get us to at least an equity break even. All right, let's look at another trade here. CAD Swiss. This one here is not hedged, and let's make sure I still have my trailing stop loss turned on. It's turned off. And we'll leave that off because I think we're going to, as soon as I get a good indication from this Haas turning back north, I'll go ahead and set another position, another buy position to help overcome this distance here, which is 170 pips. So remember, that's one of the tools to rescue is to, i.e. hedge, or to wait for your signal, your Haas signal or whatever trading system you're using to signal back in the original direction, and then take that second position to help you overcome that distance quicker. Same thing here. If you zoom out, look at the 10,000 foot view. Yeah, it's already hit a prior low. So is it going to break it, or is it going to bounce up? That's the question. But this Haas will give us a clue here. If the Haas if it starts coming up and breaks the Haas, and Haas turns blue, again, put a second position on. Let's see here. Same thing here, same situation. Looking for a Haas to turn blue again and take a second position going north. Now remember, we already have $644 in the bank credit towards our negative right here. So right now we're only down $177, which is, well, what is that? You got to figure it out. I can't do the math in my head because I remember we're trading $1.50 a lot. So that's only 118 pips fluctuation right here. But so yeah, this is looking pretty good here. I'm excited about that, this setup here. Ultimately, I wish we were getting out of our baskets every day like we have in the past. But you know what? Mama did say that we'll have days and weeks like this. And as I said in my comments, excuse me, the whole purpose of doing this regiment here, I could very easily last week took a loss, $100, $200, $300, whatever it was. I got to look back in the charts. Took in that equity loss, licked my wounds and pressed on. But what do you do the next time? I just have this mentality about stop losses. I don't know who they are, but I think they are the cousins of them. But whoever they are, if you put stop losses out there, my personal feeling is they will find them. And stop loss after stop loss equals big loss. So I prefer, personally, my personal trading is to fight my way back to green pastures, as I say. And I have developed plenty of techniques and over the years of my experience to help me do that. Now, does it always happen? No. There's been times where I've eaten, eaten a couple accounts, but the majority of the times I've gotten myself out and have made money. So again, you can't judge your trading experience or your success or failures on one day of trading or on 1 week of trading. You got to pull it back and look at how you have done over a long period of time. And if you've made mistakes, which we all have made mistakes, if you've learned from your mistakes, then that's experience, that's wisdom. All right. The problem is if you make the same mistake more than once, a couple times, then I would say that's not wisdom. That might be a little bit of maybe being hard-headed or stupidity. Now, I'm not calling anyone stupid, so don't take me wrong. Okay, so let's see, we got a pair right here. So yeah, back to my thought here. I want to show anyone who's following me on our Forex Factory forum here that you can fight your way back. There are ways to do this, and so this is all an exercise to show you guys how to fight back. You can do it, or you can just take your losses, or you can go out there and try to find the Holy Grail. 15 years, I guarantee you, you will never ever find the Holy Grail. No such thing out there in Forex trading. No such thing out there in any type of trading. So you got to find something that works for you, something that you're comfortable with, something that's within your tolerance margins or levels, and go with it. I think that what we provide here, our dashboard is an outstanding platform for management, and then we give you these trading systems as a means to get into the markets and then manage them through the dashboard. And like I've said from the beginning, we've had some people come to us and want something that they can just turn on and walk away and forget about it. Well, there's no such thing out there. This is something that you can turn on and you can auto trade, but you still have to put eyes on and hands on. There's nothing out there that you can't do. I mean, these are not AIs. These are not artificial intelligence. You have to imply. That's why we call ourselves Automated Intelligent Trading Group. You got to apply your intelligence to this system here. All right, enough ranting. Let's continue on. I hope you guys got my drift here. Pound US. All right, look at that. That's nice. We're already locked in profit, and this is what I love about the the trailing stop loss. All right, it locks you into profit, and then it trails, and as it trails, it gives you more and more profit that you're locked into. So right now we're locked in, guaranteed profit of 4 pips, and as price continues to go down, the trailing stop loss will continue to move. Love it. All right, here's another one. Swiss. This is coming back. Actually going sideways here. Looks like we were in profit, never hit our lock. Again, I think this is one that let's zoom out and look at it. I want to apologize now if this video might be a little bit longer than normal, because I want to really do an in-depth breakdown of some of these setups to give you better insight of what's happening. Looks like we're hitting some support right here, long-term support, and hopefully it'll break it and get us in some profit there and close out. But I have enough in the bank here. I could just close that out right now, and it wouldn't affect a thing. So that's an option too. Another tool in the toolbox here is when you bank a lot in your profit cycle, your cycle profit and loss, you can afford to cherry pick. That's what we call cherry picking, or pruning. You can prune off some negatives or positives. I can close that positive out real quick, but it's already locked in, so why do that? All right, and the last one here is the NAS/US, which is, again, going sideways. We'll wait till next week, and if these start to go back against us again, I'll just prune these off, count them for losses, but continue the fight. So really pleased on how this 1 hour house breakout is doing right now. It's coming back to us. All right, I'll get set up for the next one, which is the 10 pip Renko breakout. Hey, I want to apologize. You might be hearing my voice and then a little bit of a lag in the mouse movement here. Moving the mouse. I am recording on one computer and remotely tied into my trading computer. So for some reason, normally I don't have a lag, but today there is a little bit of a lag. So I do apologize for that. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. So the 10 pip Renko breakout. Yesterday's update, we were down. We were only up at $80 or 80 pips. We're trading $1 pip on this, and down. Basket equity was down 233. Today, basket equity was only down 38, and we're up 193 pips. So as you recall, earlier in the week we were up 600, but that's the problem with, again, of using stop losses. I guess it's a 50-50-90 sometimes, which means 90% of the time it's a 50-50. It can go either way. When we're using, what did I do? I took off the jumping stop loss. That's what I did. I reduced my take profit yesterday to 15 pips. Remember, it was 28. And I had that jumping stop loss. That jumping stop loss was eating me up big time. And I also, did I decrease? Yeah, I took off the equity lock and I put a straight 50 pip equity take profit on there. So those minor tweaks there is helping out quite tremendously. So again, this is not a one and done. This is a go at profit, and I had to reset this when I changed the settings in the properties, and I took away the baskets that I closed. Previously, it had closed 4 baskets during the week. So again, this is not. This is just the nature of the Renko beast here. Renkos are something you really got to watch. Something that you really have to get a feel for the nature of the Renko charts. We'll look at one real quick here. They're easy to read because they take a lot of the noise out of a time chart. But then on the negative side, the predictability of it is not. I don't know. That sounds like a contradiction. But those of you guys who have worked with Renkos before know what I'm talking about. Let's zoom out here. Yeah, we'll just let this ride. I mean, it's doing quite well. It's coming back. We'll see what it's like in the next couple of days. So those are the wrinkles, and we will move on to the next setup. Okay, here's the 4-hour heat map. This is a 12 pip take profit and a equity take profit of 50. All right. Remember I told you before I need to wait till I close these down today to get into the properties. Actually, I'm going to be running this over the weekend, so I won't be able to close this down. Remember, whenever you go into the properties, it resets everything on the dashboard here, so I'll lose all this cycle profit loss that I have banked in here. But that being said, we're only down now 338 pips, and we cycled profit and loss 888 pips. Again, that is going towards our overall basket equity. Yesterday, I showed I was down basket equity of 515 pips, and cycle profit loss was 836. So $50 increase, 50 pip increase on the cycle profit and loss. But our basket equities decreased by almost 200 pips there. So again, this is peeling off trades as it hits 10 pip take profits, and I don't think I've gone into too much rescuing on this yet. Again, always look at your cycle profit, or I'm sorry, always look at your margin levels here. And my personal rule of thumb here is to quit taking trades at 1,000% margin level. So right now we're at 2,100 and some change. So I'm just going to continue to take trades and run this out, see what happens. We'll look at Monday or Tuesday and see where it's at and see if we can help it out, speed it up a little bit. So I think that is enough on this one here. I will get set up now for the next presentation, which is the 1-hour Haas breakout London, the old London setup here. Yesterday we showed that basket equity was down $73. Again, let me figure this out because we're trading 30 cents a pip. So that was down 243 pips. Today we're down 93 pips. So we've come back quite a bit, and you can tell by the graph here. We're just the overall index of the open trades. It's coming back to where we want it to be, green. And the cycle profit loss was $11. Today it's $63. And again, you can figure out the pips here. So 210 pips in the bank there. So feeling really good about the London here. Obviously, I don't think we're going to get out today, but I do believe we'll be out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at the latest. That's my prediction here. And nothing we're going to do here. We're just going to let this baby continue to take trades and roll itself out here. We might look at it Monday or Monday morning, and see if we can help a couple of these out here. Look for a Haas turn and take a second position on that pair. All these other guys are pretty close. This one's going sideways. Got to wait on that. There's my original line in the sand down here. Yeah, so we'll just let this guy roll, and got plenty of margin loss. This is again why I like the London so much. Using the 4-hour heat map, actually using a heat map as a filter with any setup, it limits your number of pairs, which could be most of the time is a good thing. It keeps you out of those pairs at most of the time at a swing, so you're not getting caught at the tops or the bottoms of swings. But yeah, with the right, again, as I cannot preach this enough, having the right lot size compared to your account size to give you the maximum amounts of margin level. Well, that's part of money management there, one aspect of it. Again, people, as a young trader, I used to get in trouble too, because you'd have a $500 account and you want to be trading, a full lot with that, or $1 a pip. Of course, that's an exaggeration, but $1 a pip on a $500 account, and I would wonder why that I get margin called. You don't have enough space between your lot size and your account size to endure average and typical drawdowns. Okay. What we're experiencing here this past week is, I would not say out of the norm. I would say it's within the norm of drawdown, especially when you're trading a portfolio or a palette of or an index of so many different pairs. So this is normal, and again, you just got to learn how to trade yourself back to health. I can't press that enough. Okay, so plan here. Let this baby run, and we'll see what next week brings. All right, the next setup is the 4-hour heat map. This is just the straight heat map, as you recall. We're using a ADR take profit and an equity lock. All right. Yesterday I reported basket equity was down 441 pips. Today we're only down 134 pips. The cycle profit loss was 846, and today we're cycle profit and loss, we're up 1105 pips. Okay, just want to illustrate with this type of setup here, using a either if you're trading on charts using the internal trading system, trailing stop loss or the take profit, or a ADR take profit off the dashboard, having that ability to be banking up some positive cycle profit and loss tremendously helps you to overcome drawdown. As you can see, we are on our way back to green pastures here. Very, very pleased with this. How of course it took a week, but I again applying some patience and just waiting it out. It's coming back, and hopefully I believe by Monday or Tuesday we'll be into the green and closed and set up for to continue on. Now, so I like these type of setups a lot better than others. So for that reason right there. Not much to look at here. We got plenty. We're still above our comfort zone here. So we're just going to continue to let this overall index ride itself out and get itself back to green pastures there. So I'm very, very pleased with the 4-hour heat map. All right, now the final one is going to be the daily heat map. And I hate to close out the week in this presentation on a negative note here, but you can see basket equity is down $1,216, which is 810 pips, because we're trading $1 a pip, or I'm sorry, $1.50 a pip. Yesterday, basket equity was down $1,086, and the cycle profit and loss has picked up some, but we are down below our 1,000%, so we're kind of stuck right now. And at this point here, we started out at $2,000, and we're at just at $2,000 right now. This was a live account. I would probably just close it out and just call it a chalk it up as a little bit of a learning experience here, I guess. But I am going to allow this to go one more day and see what happens. You never know. That being said, I just want to, just a little programming note and some information for the near future. I am I have 6 setups that I'm trading for your benefit and illustrating the progress and the techniques and tactics that I use to trade these. And I have live accounts, and I have these 6. I have over 9, 10 MT4 platforms open on my trading computer. There's another setup that I want to start showing, and this is going to be, I'm going against my rules, but I want, for your benefit, I want to show you a live account that I am started to trade manually right now, and it is this supply and demand zones, and which is the new trading system that we're presently working on, which will be a complete and total auto trading system, and you can put it on manual or semi-manual. And I want to start showing you how I trade the supply and demand zones on a live account. Totally against my rules and my ethics. It's not, I guess it's our custom here in the United States. You want to be humble. You don't want to be going around comparing tax forms, bragging on, my paycheck's bigger than yours. We kind of keep private to ourselves of what we do, but for your benefit to show you that the faith that we have in what we're doing here at Aitg, I want to start sometime next week showing you a live setup with supply and demand zones. So I'm pretty excited about it. Supply and demand zones are one of my favorites. They're very easy. It's almost actually it is trading pure price action. And there is a video on about 4 or 5 pages back on the Forex Factory forum that I highly recommend you check out. It's a short video from a guy named Sam Sadine, who used to be a mercantile trader, I believe, on the Chicago Exchange here in Chicago. And he very simply, in a basic way, lays out what supply and demand zones are and how to trade them. It is phenomenal when your eyes are opened to how the markets are really, really manipulated. And he very simply teaches us through his video on to quit thinking like a trader and start thinking like the way the big banks are. Because you think about it, we are trading against really the big banks. The big banks are the ones that are manipulating price. And if you don't believe that, well, I have some land in Florida for sale. But once you switch your thinking opposite from a trader to a banker, and you start seeing how they manipulate the markets, then you're able to start following their mentality, and you'll be amazed. It's amazing. But not to discount anything else that we have. The Haas is awesome. The breakouts, I use the breakouts. I use the Haas in my live tradings. And so I just want to show you what I'm doing live on one occasion here. So be prepared for that. But that being said, I need to delete 1 or 2 of these systems that I'm presently showing. Haven't determined which ones yet. I'm thinking it might be the daily EMAP. But I think I've showed enough of these setups for y'all to get the idea. And in sports, they say that a lot of sports leagues, they're copycat leagues. They see one team doing one thing and everyone else copies, and that's okay. If you like what we do and you copy what we do, there's no law saying you can't do that. Okay, all we're doing is showing you what we do, and if you want to copy that, that's great. If you don't, that's even greater, because we want you to take what we're showing you and apply some of your own logic and some of your own tools that you've developed as a trader and make it personal to you. So again, we're just out here to help you and to make us all better traders. And that being said, this will complete this week's presentations. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll look for some green pastures next week. You guys have a good weekend. Bye-bye.